one of the top tips that I would advise to a business owner here is if you've got something like this in your business where you're going, hey, I'm doing, and we talk about sometimes on the podcast T-shirts, right? And you go, oh yeah, somebody said to me, oh, hats are the next cool thing, and you just go all in on hats. Before you do that, it would be a really good idea to actually get some high-level numbers and then spend some time and money with a professional like an accountant or a financial advisor, somebody that understands numbers, and go, look, help me understand this on a deeper level when it's at scale. That if I do this and work on all of these numbers, what's it going to look like? And then secondly, challenge me on what my blind spots are and what I might have forgotten about, because we're so emotionally invested in some of this stuff that all we're looking at is just the upside, and then the accountant is often the bearer of the bad news, and sometimes maybe that's why we've got such bad blooming reputations and perceptions out there, is just like, oh man, they take all the joy out of it. But no, we're not taking the joy. We're just trying to be realists about going, hey, if you do this, you also need to think about, oh shit, you're hiring this person. Have you thought about office space? Have you thought about the non-financial stuff? Because by the time you hire more people, it changes the dynamic of your business, and there's other challenges that we know that come with people. Yeah. Do they need a car? Have you thought about how you're going to finance that car? What's their lifestyle? How much time do they have off? How's that going to fit into the sales cycle of your business? All of these other things, rather than just, oh, I've got this idea to sell hats. I'm going to buy these hats for blooming $10 and I'm going to sell them for $30 and I'm going to do it online and I've got these cool little things on them. There's all the other stuff around the edges that you need to consider, because it's going to take you away not only time and thinking, but financially from your core business that is obviously doing all right. Because if it wasn't doing all right, you wouldn't be thinking about getting distracted by this other thing that you think is going to be, oh, gee, this is the cool thing that I must do for my business.
Yeah, I think part of it is the old shiny object syndrome, but also as humans, I think to get more, we always assume that we have to like launch more or do more of something new. And often with business owners, we're sitting them down and going, what has been working? Where did you start? Okay, where's that data? And they want to be like, I want to be over here talking about all the sexy stuff we're going to do. And we're going like, no, like what about this? Because this is profitable, this is working. The market told us that it is. So why don't we focus on that? Oh, but that's not cool, it's not shiny, it's not sexy. But what happens for creative people, to stick with the hat example, is someone comes along and they send them an Instagram page and there's 80,000 followers of this hat thing. Yeah. And they'll go like, bro, you should be doing hats, man. Like you're doing t-shirts, should be doing hats now. And then you look at it and you go like, oh shit, like they've got 80,000 followers and blah, blah, blah. So then you go down the path of doing hats and you haven't really even squeezed the t-shirts yet. But as we always say, you don't know like how they're performing, what they're actually selling. And I've seen in the event space, people talking about, right, all these big events that are coming up and whatnot. And then I'll check in with the people that are selling the tickets. I'm like, what's the ticket sales like? There's all this awareness and attention on the surface.
Yeah, that makes it look
great. And you think like, wow, this is going to be like sold out and it's cranking. Like, shit, sales been really slow, eh? Big difference between someone keying in their financial information and transferring their hard-earned over than like liking something on social media or following something. Yeah. And that's where I think sometimes we have to stop and go, right, less is more. Why don't I go back to what actually works and 80-20 it? And we often talk about this in terms of with clients in e-commerce, they'll have their key products that they sell, but then they'll bolt on like 100 others because Sally came into the store and said like, oh, you guys should be doing this. Oh, do you guys do this? Can I get one of those? Oh yeah, we can do that for you. Yeah. And then you order 10 of them. And then there's 9 of them that are unsold.
And it's in e-commerce, it's so easy to be able to go, oh, I can now sell hats. I'll create a product. I'll create a page. It's all done in a matter of moments. And thinking, great, we've now got something else. But by adding that in there, you're just adding so many more layers and problems that could potentially happen. Yeah. And I think one of the key things for me thinking about it is it really highlights for any business owner, whether you're creative or not, that there's a potential lack of direction or ultimately what you're trying to achieve in your business. That if you've got a really clearly defined goal and vision about what you want your business to be or to look like in the future, and you're just so passionate about it, you will do everything that you possibly can to go, right, I need to do these steps, work through all of the stuff to achieve whatever that is. If you don't have that and you're laser focused on that goal, you're going to be more prone to distraction because you don't have the clarity or know where you're going. You're just like, oh, I've got this business that's making money. I'll go and do this.
Yeah.
And I'll go and do that. The other classic one, and it's not necessarily creatives, it's business owners, but it's absolutely punishing, is, oh, I'm doing really well. Oh, Phil, Luke, I've got this really good idea. I'm going to get into property development.
My uncle did one.
Yeah.
Made like $200,000 million one time. Trillion, actually, I think it was. Can't remember.
Oh, and
It's easy.
And the neighbour Barry over the fence, he's done a couple of them, and oh, mate, I tell you what, he's just absolutely living the dream.
We might even partner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even know the bloke, but might even partner on it. Just
Easy.
Go like 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Oh, guys, no, we've got to do this. There's an easy 50, 100 grand, and look, we can just flip it. The market, it's coming good. Nah, said no one ever. Like, oh.
Focus on your business.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's just that emotion and rose-tinted glasses that business owners have of just trying to chase something. And I think it comes back to you just don't really know what it is you're chasing in the first place. Get clear on that. And then the property piece, you're just like, no, I don't need to worry about that because that's a distraction. And when you actually look at property development and the amount of times that this comes up with clients once they kind of reach this phase of their business that they feel like they've clocked, and it's like, well, what's next? And it just seems to be, oh, property. That's what everybody does. It's yuck. You know, there's so many more things you can do in your business before you start and go, yeah, I'm going to get into property, but property development. But then by the time you crunch the numbers and you go, oh yeah, I've cleared what I was thinking I was going to do in the outset of the project, 50 grand, has actually now turned out to 20 grand gross. I've got to pay tax on that at 39% because you're already a high earner, and it's taken you at least 6 months to achieve that. And that's just the cash, let alone the bandwidth that it's taken away from you.
Opportunity cost. Yeah.
I reckon as a business owner, you've lost. You could find a way to make 20 grand in your business focusing on what it is that you actually do and do it much quicker than the 6 months and the punishing pain that comes with property.